Yo, what's going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy Big Philly. Happy hump day, and my boy Michael, the wannabe fantasy guru, but not really the guru. Somewhat. What you think? I don't know about that, bro.
Depends which league we're talking about.
I don't know, bro. I think you only won one Super Bowl. I think it was like COVID champion. That's because nobody really played because it was COVID. Everybody was losing players. It was crazy. That year was crazy. That's all I know. That
Excuses.
COVID
I
year.
won. That was my year.
No. Excuses.
That was my
Excuses is what Willie Beeman, that's backstage right now, did to me that one year. Oh, we need to split the championship. That was some bullshit. But anyways, I digress. I'm not going into that. What's going on, man? We haven't seen y'all for a little minute. We have a couple people in the backstage that we're going to bring up. Some familiar faces for some of you. An OG to the show. I'm going to bring him up first, Mr. Willie fucking Beeman. Let's go. What's up, Pablo?
What's up?
What up? One of the original OGs, the original
The
host
original
of the show.
Dandara, you know what I mean, man, you know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm gonna bring up Mr. Boss Man, one of our other co-hosts here. What's going on? If you haven't looked him up yet on TikTok, make sure you drop down on TikTok if you're into gaming. Mr. Boss Man 407. Make sure you follow him, man. If you guys are into any of that Pokemon stuff or any of those types of games, I'm not really. I tried the Pokemon, Mr. Boss Man. I'm sorry, but I couldn't do it.
So I
those boss battles are crazy.
I flip flop between various different things. It's honestly been scheduling. My schedule's been so terrible. Like the thing that I've been wanting to do a lot of, which is the boss battles. Like I just didn't have like the consistent time. So it's been low key gaming. Just stuff that I enjoy doing. If people want to watch, they can. If not, then they can wait until my schedule kind of returns to some sort of normalcy. Which finally, I am 10 days away from normalcy. So
yes, sir.
The channel will get back to a bit more of a consistent, beautiful platform. Until then, come in, enjoy whatever the hell we doing. We got a big battle on Friday, so we're gonna have fun with that. And the wifey and I just been trying to get better, get more fit, and go to the gym. My knee is pretty tweaked right now, and it's leg day, so I'm like, you know what? Let me just rest up and then reattack everything tomorrow.
Yes, sir, man. Keep that journey going. And last but not least, Mr. Big fan, always a family to the show here, Mr. CT, the medical expert is what we call him out here. What's going on, CT? How you doing, buddy?
What's going on, man? What's going on?
CT works for De Leon Medical Center.
You gotta put me on a commercial next time, bro. You gotta put me on a commercial. I'll throw it out there.
So, obviously, state of the franchise, right? So we're gonna start off. It's been a really bad week too, man, for Dolphins fans, including, especially for all of us here at the Miami Fan Talk Network here. Obviously, Tua going down, getting put on IR. Devastating news for the Dolphins. He's going to be out for at least bare minimum 4 weeks, which may put him back kind of after the bye week. 4 games, yeah, so 4 weeks. So well, remember, I don't think the bye week. I don't think the bye week counts. Yeah, so it's going to be 5 weeks. So I don't think the bye week counts towards the IR. Right. So we're going to have him out for at least bare minimum 5 weeks. So 5 weeks of no Tua. We kind of saw what this looks like in 2022. Is it going to be different? These are big questions that we're going to ask. But hey, I gotta ask that, man, because hey, we went 0-4, or no, 1-4 without Tua in 2022. Obviously, with the only game that we won was against the New York Jets, and there wasn't an offensive touchdown that was scored in that game. If I'm not mistaken, it was 3 field goals or 16 points. I forgot what the score was.
It was 9. It was 9-6.
It was pretty abysmal, yeah.
Yeah, it was a very
double
abysmal
digit.
game.
God damn.
Right. But some hope, if we can get anything close to what Skyler produced against Buffalo in the playoffs, I think we'll be okay. When we look at some of the stuff that's going on in the league and a lot of the injuries, you go into that next man mentality. But there's a lot of other things that go into it, and one of those things is offensive line play. When you look at San Francisco in 2022 when Brock Purdy took over. And you look at their offensive line play and where they were even graded. Majority of their offensive line was great. I think the highest was like 90 or 89 on PFF, and I think the lowest grade was like 76. So it's just, you want to make sure that your offensive line is playing, phenomenally well or predominantly well, and you want to focus on that run game, right? Where you can take away some of that stress from your young quarterback, because Skyler, even though it's his third year, he doesn't have a lot of experience, right? If I'm not mistaken, or no, I am not mistaken.
Is Skyler starting this week?
Skyler is starting this week.
Yep,
So
he's starting.
fuck you, Mike. Fucking know Skyler's starting this week. Who's gonna be fucking Boyle? But anyways, so you want to definitely keep that run game, keep that third and short, second and short, play the chains. So we'll start, I guess, with Mike. Mike, what are your thoughts? Obviously with Tua going to IR, as obviously you are the co-host, so I want to get your thoughts first on what the next moves are for the Dolphins here. I'm gonna go off Ken for a second.
All right. Well, I mean, Tua going down, that was a shock to all of us there. Oh, not shock, but sucks. No, like as he went down. I mean, the first thing you think of is like this guy he's done. I still think there's a chance he's done. I just make a great decision for his family. Moving on to the team wise, I hate Skylar Thompson. I think everyone knows I hate this guy.
But why do you?
I know we just signed
Skylar
Huntley.
Thompson?
He's a 3-and-out machine. He's overhyped. He doesn't do anything. What do you like about him?
Well, I'm just asking because to give perspective, right? Because there's other people in this fan base, right, who are, when you look at, like the Pete's of the world, where we gotta be realistic, but
Gotta be realistic. Ain't none of that. All you can do is pray.
You can look. If anything has been proven in this league, you can win with a game manager, right? We need Skylar. Well, they're not going
Skyler
out.
is a game loser. I'm sorry. He's not a game manager. He's a game loser. So
he's a three-and-out machine. You are guaranteed 3-and-out.
Well, I think you're guaranteed with any quarterback 3-and-out, right?
People like, hey, coach, I won't turn the ball
everybody
over.
that bets on the Hard Rock. You can always count on Skylar Thompson throwing an interception.
I was going to say, he's known for the pick sixes. He throws 3 pick sixes and 1 touchdown. And everybody goes, he's going to do great. He's going to do great.
Yeah.
But when did he throw 3 picks? Wait, hold on. When did he throw 3 pick sixes?
It was once in the preseason. He had 4 throws, and out of his 4 throws, 1 was a pick 6. Then he had a pick 6 in one of his first starts.
This preseason.
No. I'm talking about the year he started for us. He was throwing pick 6s left and fucking right. And the fact that, again, he got replaced by Mike White, who, granted, the dude had moxie for getting a broken rib and playing through it, but he sucked too. And the fact that he got brought in, started over you, then they go, nah, we don't want to pay him, so we get rid of Mike White, and now we're going to go back to Skyler. I'm sorry. I just think it's a bad decision.
I will say Mike White's play during this preseason, even training camp, was pretty atrocious. And you kind of saw evidence of that with, some of the beat writers and what they were saying during training camp. So I will say that I think Skyler did look better out of the 2 this offseason. And again, it goes back to, having great offensive line play. You need him to manage the game. I don't need him to do anything special to win us the game. What I need him to do is to manage the game. Put him in situations where it's third and short, second and short, where he's going to be able to convert with high percentage plays, to convert on first down, to keep moving that chain, to get away from what Mike just said, right? The 3-0 machine, that 0-3 machine, or whatever, 3-and-out machine. Yeah, you want to make sure you want to get away from that, and the way you do that is from controlling the line of scrimmage and utilizing that run game. And again, Rex Ryan says it best, right? Rex Ryan on Get Up on ESPN when they announced that Bryce Young was getting benched, right? One of the things he said is, you bring in this quarterback guru to come in and coach this kid, and you're not putting him in position to develop and to win games, and you do that with the run game, controlling the line of scrimmage and utilizing the run game, which Carolina isn't. So, I think that in this case, it's going to be the same concept for Skyler. Skyler is still a young quarterback. He's only 3 years in, but he has very little game experience. So we need to get the run game going. Same as what we had in Buffalo. Against Buffalo, Achane had 98 yards all purpose, right? We need to get back to that, continue to build on that, but not just, destroy Achane, because, dude, Achane was limping on half that game, which I thought was another thing that was crazy, because Achane was limping. He was a starter, but yet he was playing with those backups. Why not put in Jeff Wilson Jr.? Why not utilize Wright a little bit more in that offense towards the end of the game there if you're going to bench your starters anyways?
Well, I can agree with that, but the one thing I will say about that is you do also have to consider the fact that when we did that in the preseason and then we had injuries, then we ended up with a practice squad wide receiver playing running back, and you don't want to put one of these wide receivers at running back or have to put Jonnu Smith as the running back. That would be bad.
I don't think I want some of these wide receivers to play wide receiver at this point.
You got that right. Yeah.
But and again, it's those things. But I digress. I'll just again, I will say that I'm not going to completely bail on Skyler. I kind of want to see what he does in Seattle. Seattle's a formidable defense. They're going to get after it. Their offensive line is relatively good as well too. And Geno Smith's playing at a high level. And you got to worry about DK Metcalf. We saw what he did last week. So DK is still elusive. You have to worry about Tyler Lockett, and you got to worry about the rookie they brought in last year. Year 2 playing the slot. I can never say his name, and I'm not trying to. But anyways, you definitely want to make sure that we stay ahead and keep Skyler in manageable situations. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Keep him in situations where he can manage those third and shorts, second and shorts, where he can have high percentage plays to convert.
I agree with that, but another point you brought up, and I'm kind of skeptical about, is we've hammered this for years that this offensive line is hodgepodge bullshit, and here we are. We saw what happened injury-wise, and now we're going into a similar situation of a bunch of backups, rotating people around, and in reality, we knew even with the starting line that it was a matter of how long do they have before Tua can get the ball out. Well, I'm sorry, but Skylar Thompson is not Tua with the decision making, and I think it's gonna. I hope the best for Skylar, but with this O line, even with the healthy O line, I don't really see much success with his style of play.
So, is it are we rotating, or are we just kind of?
Yeah, you're good. You're good, Tyler. You can go ahead.
So when the last time we were on, we were kind of discussing the wrap up of the season. Does anybody remember my what I said? Probably not. I'll just go ahead. So, unfortunately, what I was fearing came true. And I was doing my best to be an optimist. I told myself leading into this offseason, I was like, look, they're going to pay the man because he's the only good quarterback we got. They're going to pay the man because who else we're going to get? But Jesus, I swear if they pay the man and he gets hurt like he did in 2022. Jesus, if they don't address this offensive line to where we basically have 0.3758 seconds to throw the ball before he gets destroyed on the ground. Jesus, if we can't find a competent wide receiver number 3 that can complement Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, which is going to force Tua to have to only look at those two guys, we're going to be in trouble. Tua's hurt, and it's a concussion, and which, I mean, they honestly they waited until they got the diagnosis, but the second they received the word from the doctors, they were quick for IR. Minimum 4 weeks gone.
Can I interrupt real quick and give you guys a real quick rundown as I see it?
Let me just introduce. Oh, never mind. He backed out. Go ahead. You're good.
I was gonna say. So I understand the optics, and I came out and said again, last year, and people were giving me shit because I said last year he wasn't going to get injured and all that, and I didn't say that this year. But no, I think it's a little bit different. The concussions he had in 2022 were sack-related incidences. This is something where he went out of his way to try to make a play. And I talked to Big Philly privately, and the issue is he tried to lead with the crown of his helmet. And again, irregardless of who you are, that puts you in a bad position. I mean, we teach kids in Pee Wee football, keep your head up. And the fact that he closes his eyes, puts his head down, and just goes for it, it's kind of reckless. And I mean, we understand he did it well in this first year with us, breaking Buda Baker's ankles and all kinds of good stuff. But that's not your game. And I think that, long story short, the reintroduction of the concussion isn't necessarily a long-term concern. The fact that, again, none of the medical studies show that the amount of concussions you have is necessarily a long-lasting impact. It's more along the lines of how many do you have in a certain time frame. And seeing as he went 18 months without a concussion, it doesn't lead him to be more susceptible to any further concussions than any other player. The issue is again, knowing how Mike McDaniel and the team handles injuries as it is. And then, again, for a quick point, people talk about posturing, and there's a lot of misinformation going out there that, posturing means that the concussion is severe and it's much more scary. And that's just not true. The medical journals state 66% of mild and moderate concussions have posturing. And the reason I say posturing, people say fencing and this and that. Fencing and posturing. Fencing is a type of posturing. Tua has not always done a fencing posturing. But anyway, it doesn't lead him to be any more susceptible. Now, what happens is when you have multiple concussions in a short time frame, you have to allow, for example, the established category is 10 to 14 days to recover from a sole concussion. If you have multiple concussions in a short period of time, it should up the ante between 30 and 45 days of rest before return to play. Now, in Tua's case, I think that they're going to be leaning on that 30 to 45 day window just out of precaution because of the history. But I want to clarify that medical journals do not state emphatically in any which way that the amount of concussions you have is a determinant factor of whether you're more susceptible to having it.
You're a boomerang, bro. Big time.
Nah, I muted myself. It's me.
No, it's
not me.
Am I better? Nope. Hold on, let me just I muted Tyler for a second. Tyler, just fix your mic. So just to be clear, I'm gonna introduce Wevo up here in a second. But just to be clear for the viewers, posturing or fencing, that's I'm assuming that's the movement or where the hands are locking up or the legs are locking up, where people kind of like what you hear online is the gang signs, but it's where it's like basically seizing up, correct? If I'm not mistaken, CT?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not a seizure per se.
Yes.
It's not a seizure at all. It's actually an overactivation of neurons in the brain because of the TBI, the traumatic brain injury, aka the concussion. But even in 60% of mild concussions, you can have the posturing and or fencing. Fencing is a one arm out, one arm in, but we've seen into a situation, it's not always a one arm out, one arm in situation. Sometimes it's grabbing toward the head with the fingers and everything else. But that is just essentially when you get knocked in the head, your brain starts sending out a crap ton of signals to the rest of your body, and it just locks your muscles up. It creates a unconscious response muscularly. It's not a seizure, though.
No, but yeah, I'm just saying like it gives it seizure like, because when you look at seizures, a lot of times the body's stiffing up.
But
it
but
does
it's not
appear
the
to be, but
shaking. It's not the intermittent
exactly.
on and off, on and off. It's you're getting constant signals to contract your muscles, and your body works in different ways. There's different responses to that again. But yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's any more severe than a mild concussion, because even 66% of mild concussions have posturing. So there is misinformation out there about, because he had posturing, it's more severe. That's not necessarily true. Does that mean it's not, that it wasn't more severe? No, but just because of that initial reaction, the visual symptom doesn't necessitate it being severe.
Right.
Which is why seeing the neurologist too this week.
To go back to, because I was actually going to bring up the fact that he went head first, but you kind of beat me to it. In 2022, Tua was definitely trying to extend plays more. He was doing what he thought he needed to do, and when he bulked up in 2023, he became more stationary in the pocket, which worked. So when he, slimmed down again, one of my concerns was I think he's going to start to scramble. I think he's going to start to do this and that. We've already seen. Love him. Great player, great football player, great quarterback, great athlete. But the dude has been shown to not be able to take as much of a hit as some of the other guys. And that's just
it's just not his game.
How I see it.
Exactly.
And the thing is,
not his game.
Yeah, and I can agree. I just want to say one quick on this point, because this is kind of my expertise in this, is I don't think that his weight loss had anything to do with it.
Right. No, I wasn't saying
it's
that.
Again, it's strictly you made a dumb decision to lower your head when, again, he's done it in other games where he scrambled and he doesn't duck his head. He keeps his head up and he leads with his shoulder. When you put your head down like that, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah, you're right. So Anthony writes here, commented, thank you, by the way. Make sure you guys hit that like and follow here on YouTube. We greatly appreciate help the channel grow. But he says, what I'm more worried about is this: if he has the same reaction and it's a lot worse and he doesn't stand up when it happens then. So I'm assuming what he's trying to say is, like, if it happens again, like, he won't get up from it. And we kind of saw that when in Cincinnati.
The Bengals game,
yeah, but I, and that's something that you and I had conversations about, CT2. It's like, what if it happens again? But again, kind of like what you that day, and again earlier in the show, it's a matter of the frequency of it is what counts. With that being said, I'm welcome up another OG, one of the originals, the original foe, Mr. Huevo. He brings a unique perspective because he's obviously a Packers fan, and obviously the Packers had a very similar situation with their quarterback Jordan Love, and obviously Patrick Willis getting the huge dub for Green Bay this weekend or last weekend. So obviously I would love some of his input on what it's like.
Scarlett Thompson ain't gonna do that.
We don't know that. What's going on, Huevo?
If history repeats itself, it's pick sixes. So,
hey man. So from an outside perspective, right? Because obviously you aren't a Dolphins fan, but from an outside perspective, what is your take on Tua and the state of the franchise for Miami right now currently?
Well, for me, is first of all, you don't want him. You don't expect that on any player. So I don't wish that on any player. Period. That happens. 100%. But with Tua, But with Tua, I just want to know, since he's had these concussions, is he more susceptible to getting multiple concussions here easier than people who haven't gotten concussions? That's the only thing that I want to know. Is that scientifically proven or not?
So, Wavo, all the medical journals state unequivocally that it's not about the amount of concussions you receive. There's no evidence whatsoever that the amount of concussions that you have leads you to be more susceptible. However, what medical journals do state is that if you have high frequency in a short amount of time, then yes, it can lead to what's called a bounce back situation of you don't fully heal from the first one. Yes, you are more susceptible. They state that again, on average, 10 to 14 days for a singular concussion. Some people, obviously, everybody's different. Some people it can be way longer than that, but the average is 10 to 14 days. If you have multiple concussions in a short period of time, within a month or so, they suggest that you rest between 30 and 45 days. Now, once that occurs, and we have to remember, Tua hasn't had a concussion in over 18 months. So as far as healing is concerned, he was fully healed from those concussions. This one would essentially reset that time clock. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I mean,
Yeah.
okay, I get what you're saying, but I mean, like, since he had the concussion, is it easier for him to get another concussion?
No, that's again, that medical evidence states
Okay.
unequivocally that that's not the case.
Okay.
If you fully heal, then you are no more susceptible than if you never had a concussion to begin with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got you.
As long as you have the proper time to heal. Now, when it's multiple in a short amount of time, that completely changes.
I got you. So,
Which is why I think that they're being conservative in their approach and putting him on IR is let's give him that 30 to 45 day window, even if it is the first of this year. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
All right. But for me,
So
to answer that question, Phil, honestly, after he got paid all that money, he should know better to do that what he just did.
so that's where the state of the
I don't know
franchise
about
comes
that.
in. Before we get into that, because that's where the state of the franchise comes in. I'm gonna bring up Anthony right quick, one of our longtime viewers. What's going on, Anthony?
Hey guys, in the chat I said this. For me, I hope this doesn't force defensive players to ease up when they're trying to tackle Tua because they're afraid, even if they don't hit him hard, he's gonna get a concussion. Because that hit with Hamlin he barely even touched him. He just hit his
I mean,
forearm.
it just we don't really know what impact caused. I mean, again, like CT's point of view is it's when Tua dropped his head down and hit DeMar directly in the chest. My opinion, it's when he went to his back, rolled to his back, and his head kind of ricocheted off the ground, the turf again, the same way he did in Cincinnati.
That's what I think happened too.
And that's
Right.
what
So
I said.
and that's where we don't know. We really don't know.
Yeah, and Big Philly, like I told you, I think that the initial him lowering his head, obviously getting his head knocked off to the side created some type of brain issue in that because he did fall. The problem is like I said, and people want to bring up the posturing didn't occur until the second impact when he fell backward and smacked his head is when that posturing began. And so in that aspect, it's one TBI event. But again, I do think that the secondary impact is what created more of the issue.
CT, this is an honest question. Since you work with athletes, if I feel that his own body, for Tua specifically, I feel that his own body is telling him he can't play the sport that he loves. Like, these injuries are adding up with him. I'm not saying he has to retire, but he needs to he needs
Well,
to.
I think he needs to reinvent his game. I think that he needs to kind of stay with doing that pocket passing as a true pocket passer, which he has the ability to do. He has great pocket presence, obviously, and obviously him getting the ball out so quickly, assist in that category. But he needs to stop trying to, pick up these gains with his legs,
He's
picking
not
up extra
Lamar. He's
yardage.
not
See, I
Patrick Mahomes.
agree, but I
Yeah.
disagree.
That's
I
why
agree
man
and
got
disagree. I agree completely with the pocket passer thing, but I do think that, again, if you're given a wide open situation, get your yards and fucking slide. Like that's my
Yeah.
issue.
The
Is,
thing is,
again,
he's too competitive for that, man. That's another thing.
and
Why
maybe that's
couldn't
a
he slide?
mindset issue that they have to deal with. But at the same time, and I agree with the injury part and whatever. As far as the concussions, I'm clear on that. But if you're going to put yourself in position to become injured, then that's a mindset or something that has to be rectified. You know your game is a pocket passer, your timing, your accuracy. If you see something open, get your 4 or 5 yards and slide. Even if you slid and turned the fucking ball over, you'd still be playing the next series. So that's kind of something that maybe needs to be addressed.
That
Yeah.
that that that
Hey,
right there, he like I said, he should know better, bro. It's like that should have never happened because at the end of
He
the day,
wants to
look,
play
now
hero ball. That's the issue.
you're causing
No,
the
the
team, you
issue
might
is,
cause the
like I
team 4
said,
games.
we teach pee-wee fucking children playing football to keep your head up. And you're a professional athlete and you didn't keep your
But
head up.
now he
That's
might cause the Dolphins 4 games because he's
hey,
not going to
real
be out
quick,
there.
Mr. Bossman, I want to thank you for your time for coming up. If you guys haven't yet, if you guys are into gaming, please, man, check him out on TikTok, Mr. Bossman 407. He has a nice following there where they have boss battles and all these other different things. So thank you again for your time, and I know I know you're a really busy dude, but I do appreciate for you coming up. And I'll catch you next week. All right, my friend.
All right, absolutely.
We'll
Hey, go Dolphins, guys! No matter what, let's get the dub
Yes,
this
sir.
week.
Go Dolphins. Go Fins.
Much
Thanks,
love.
buddy. I appreciate it.
Hey, Philly, I was actually reading an article. I was watching, I can't remember who it was recently. Oh, it was a show with Chase Daniel, Emmanuel Otto, and stuff like that on Fox Sports. And they were saying,
Okay.
since Tua's injured, what they should do at the quarterback position. Chase Daniel did something crazy thing where the Rams get Bryce Young from the Panthers. The Panthers get 2 draft picks from the Dolphins, one from the Dolphins, one from the
Panthers
the
or the Rams.
the Rams, and then the Dolphins get Matt Stafford. Would you
Yeah,
guys
that's not happening. That's not happening.
no, not only is that not happening,
Look,
but I don't think that would be a schematic fit anyway.
no.
Why do you say that?
So listen. So a couple things, right? So if Tua, and this is where the state of the franchise comes in. If we had not re-signed Tua to that long-term contract that allowed to pay on his 5th-year option, I think maybe that would have been something that they could maybe venture into if they chose to. But because they paid Tua, you're very limited on what you could do. Now, I've seen other things too, where some suggestions from other people, where it's like for instance, Pat McAfee and a couple other people, where they were saying, "Hey, why don't the Dolphins trade for Bryce Young?" That's another. I don't think that's another suitable option either. I think right now unfortunately, they made their bed. Now they got to lay in it, and they have to kind of wait to see when Tua heals and how he comes back, and kind of go from there. But I think that the questions we should really be asking, and we have been asking for a couple of years now, is what is Miami's answer for this offensive line? And again, we're at another situation, another crossroads, where we're without Tua for the next couple of weeks, and our offensive line has probably played the worst that it's played in the past 3 years. And if you look at that just in that Buffalo game alone, our highest pass blocking grade, if I'm not mistaken, was 76. Our lowest pass blocking grade by our starting our right tackle was a 26 by PFF, and that's Austin Jackson. So just goes to show you that the real questions we should be asking is, why hasn't Greer done anything to fix this offensive line that he apparently isn't worried about the way the fans are? Go ahead, Mike.
They did address the offensive line, actually. I signed Huntley. He just run away.
No, but
You're
it's an
being funny.
unfortunate
You're
truth,
being funny, but I think you're serious
dude.
too.
Dude, you lose two of your core, right, in the offseason, and Connor Williams and Robert Hunt. And I get it. The price tags were way out of Miami's budget for Robert Hunt. But we were still in the range for Connor Williams. And Connor Williams was a great center here. I mean, he had a lot of missed snaps. But you know what? You can see the offensive play when he was on the field and then compared to when he's off the field. And I'm not saying that Brewer's not going to be any better, but we haven't seen it yet. So, letting Connor walk, I think it was one of the biggest mistakes he did, and not addressing that other guard position. I get it. Isaiah Wynn is out. He's on IR. He'll be back in a couple weeks. But look, we lost Tua already in week 2. It's week 2 and we lost Tua. So
yes, but we didn't lose Tua.
I have a question. Can you blame that play on Tua? On the offensive line?
But look, Tua's injury, just to be clear, is on Tua for not sliding. But with that being said, again, 6 sacks within the first 2 games. 5 or 6 sacks within the first 2 games. 1 on Skylar Thompson when he came in for Buffalo, and I think 4 or 5 on Tua within the first 2 games.
Go ahead,
CT. No, you're good. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, my opinion on the O-line, and I've been hammering Chris Greer for this for fucking years now, and it's absolutely maddening. I get it, and if you want to talk about, you go and you sign Isaiah Wynn, hoping he's going to be ready for the regular season, and he wasn't. Well, you kind of did the same shit with OBJ, and at the same sense of, you didn't know whether they were going to be ready or not. You were hoping, but then you screw yourself over. We've talked about the fact that everybody wanted to yell about Tua, and Tua had one good year and yada, yada, yada. Then you're going to re-sign him. Well, Austin Jackson had one good year, and all of a sudden Austin Jackson looks like he's fucking a rookie again. He's getting beat left and right. He's being absolutely manhandled. Then you get into Eichenberg, and you get into, he's great at right guard. Well, obviously he's not, because he fucking sucked too. And
actually,
to be honest,
you know what? Hold on, Anna, if you don't mind, if you're still there. Well, I know you're still there. Can you please pull up PFF Miami Dolphins offensive line, please?
Yeah. No, and CT, for me, when it comes to the offensive line, I think that I warned people about Butch Berry. He was the offensive line coach for the Hurricanes, and he was horrible. I think this was a mistake.
I don't think it's Butch Berry, man. Look, last year, his first year under this offense, the offense was pretty well, man. But again, they kind of went away from it this year, getting back to that style of offense that they played in 2022, which is fine. They kind of went away from that quick pass game because, again, they saw teams were taking away the middle, but now teams are playing too high safety. We saw that with Buffalo, obviously playing too high safety the entire game. So you got to be able to stretch that field, right? And unfortunately, when you're playing too high safety, the way you got to stretch the field, you got to create time in the pocket. And again, here on PFF, here pass blocking grades, this is for the first 2 games. Kendall Lamb is ranked 77, which is great. It's okay. It's average. It's not great. It's average. And then you got Teron Armstead at 72. That's your starting left tackle.
No, which isn't bad, but then you get the fucking Eichenberg.
Yeah, but Liam's 65, but look what his run grade is. And this is what I'm saying. You got to focus on the run game.
No, I agree, but I'm saying that we discussed this as far as the passing game in the offseason. And if you look at this, and I don't necessarily trust PFF, all that much, but at the same time,
but it is the more user friendly to.
Yeah, absolutely. But what I'm trying to say is you look at Robert Jones, you look at Liam Eichenberg, and then you look at fucking Austin Jackson. And I hate to say this, but even Alec Ingold, in the pass blocking situation, you're supposed to use that fullback to chip and all of these other things and tight ends to chip. And Julian Hill did terrible too. I mean, the pass blocking is fucking atrocious. It's fucking atrocious.
It's bad. It's a concern, and it's only week 2. You know, Buffalo coming here Thursday night should have been a game that we won. I'm pretty sure there was no Dolphin fans out there during the off season that marked that game as an L. I am more than positive that there was not one single Dolphins fan.
Yep, and another question to that though, Big Philly and Mike, I would love your opinion on it. And I've talked about this with quite a few people. Is I love the motion and the fact that the motion puts pressure on the defense, but the problem is the motion puts pressure on the offense too, because you don't have those guys in line to chip and help block. And so now are you detrimenting yourself in pass blocking? Because obviously when we're run blocking and we're not doing all the motions and we're keeping guys in to block, you know, obviously we're getting a little bit more movement on the offensive line versus in pass protection, you're just getting fucking destroyed.
I agree. I'm telling you, it's that pass blocking, run blocking. I get it. This offensive line is built to run, and you can see it here. There's evidence there in the run blocking grades that they're more effective. You know, Liam Eichenberg's the 75. You have Robert Jones, or no, Liam's at 83. I'm sorry. Aaron Brewer's a 75, and Teron Armstead is at 87. So obviously, you're more effective in the run game, and we kind of saw that yesterday on Thursday night as well, when both Teron Armstead and Robert Jones went out the game, and they were trying to run to that side where Teron Armstead was. They weren't as effective in the run game, but they need to focus again in the run game. Because obviously pass blocking isn't there, which I would suggest too. You know, obviously the run game obviously opens up the play action. It's going to open up a couple other things, and Skylar Thompson is a little bit more athletic, or a lot more athletic than Tua is, in the sense of being able to move out the pocket. His pocket presence obviously isn't where Tua is, but he can definitely roll out the pocket if need be and utilize his legs. It's the issue, exactly. It's the accuracy. He's nowhere near as that. One, he doesn't have the pocket presence that Tua has, and he's nowhere near as accurate as Tua is.
Now, another issue the issue I do foresee though is look at these numbers, and these numbers are with Tua. And if you bring in a guy who, again, I'm not going to completely hate on him because I want him to win us a few games. But when I call reality,
win us 2, we're okay. If we can win us 2, we're okay.
It was 1. It was 4. We were 4-1.
Or
1-4.
Now.
Sorry,
I'm saying now. If he can get us 2 games, within the next 5 games, this is going to be about 5 weeks before we get Tua back.
Well, yeah, but it's only 4 games. It's only 4 games. It is 5 weeks, but it's 4 games.
Yeah, but it's the bye week, right?
Yeah, so that's what I'm. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say is when you're put on IR, you have to miss 4 games. But because we have a bye week in there, he will at least miss 5 weeks. But he's only missing technically 4 games, and that's again on a whole nother level of. Like I said, just because the medical evidence says something doesn't mean that he won't talk to his family and end up retiring or doing something else. I don't know.
Think he's going to retire.
But again, I don't either. And I told you I didn't think he was. Because, again, he made the statement he wants his son to be old enough to watch him play and know what his dad's doing. And I think that right there is an emotional motivation. And you don't get players off of emotional motivation unless you have pretty fucking compelling evidence. And even then, even when you have compelling evidence, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to forego that risk for their emotional motivation. But my point was, we're already having these problems with Tua. As far as the pass blocking grades, I can only imagine what it's going to be like with Skylar. I do think that Skylar adds the proposition of being able to run, being a bigger guy, having a bigger arm, having these other things. But the problem is that doesn't necessarily fit this system. because when he tries to chuck the fucking ball out there with his big arm, he ends up throwing pick sixes.
Well, I guess. Listen, man, I don't know about that because again, Tua came in tonight. I think Tua's last drive prior to the injury was a pick six. So I mean, it's gonna happen. He's a young quarterback. I'm not gonna really hold that against him. But what I will say is, if Skyler's actually watching this or not, which I doubt he will be. But hey, it's a fresh start, bro. It's a new season, fresh start. You got Seattle. At Seattle, which is a tough place to play, but let's not pull 2022. All right,
Yes, please.
we need one extra win this year at least.
So you don't think Huntley comes in at any point?
Not this early. I think that
next week.
I think that maybe maybe like week 3, week 4. If Skyler's playing that bad, where they're gonna make that move to Huntley, which I know you kind of want because I can see it in your face right now. I would say it's probably the 3rd or 4th game is when they would make the switch.
And I don't think that it's going. I think that at a minimum, it's not going to be this week. But I did read an article that brought up a really good idea that kind of sparked my interest. Was why not have a package for Huntley, even if he's not the starter? Have a package for him, have a few plays where, again, you have Huntley, A-Chain, Hill, Waddle.
Oof.
The amount of fucking speed and the amount of shit going on there, like, even if it's only like 5 or 10 plays, just a package would be fucking very interesting.
Like a speed option?
Yeah, I mean, even if you want to go to a Wildcat, you might even be able to go to a Wildcat.
Yeah, Wildcat RPO, speed options.
Yeah,
kind of like a Taysom Hill situation until he gets his feet wet.
Exactly, to where you get him in there and you use that speed, you use his ability to run, and you catch defenses off guard, especially when, again, if they're solely preparing for Skyler, yeah, he can run because of his size, but he's not a speedy guy. He's not you know what I mean? He's not he's not going to make you miss. He's just going to run you over like a Josh Allen. You know what I mean? Versus a Huntley who'll fucking break your ankles and you never know.
That's crazy.
And we'll just
I'm actually thinking about it now. That'd be nuts. That'd be interesting to see how they integrate Huntley in the offense.
Before we got Huntley, I was like, I think what they had, especially because if Tua was to leave, you got to put like a veteran quarterback in that spot. It's a plug and play at this point. Like, Skyler's not going to do anything for us. We might miss the postseason with Skyler at quarterback.
I agree, but it comes down to what is available, and really, we already know that Greer likes to trade away picks and all that bullshit and yada yada, which is fine and dandy, but you have to make who you're bringing in worth bringing in. Because again, if your concern, which I don't think it is, but if the concern is Tua is going to miss an extended amount, if not retire, then even if you're looking for a stopgap, it's got to be a stopgap that works for a year or two, not just this season. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because then you're going to have to go out and try to find somebody else for the long term, and that's a whole different ballgame.
I don't think that, again, that scenario only applies if Tua retired. Tua's not retiring. Or in that scenario also only applies if Tua decided to, if the Dolphins decided not to allow him to play on his 5th-year option, which they didn't do, obviously, as well. So I think that those two options really don't do anything for Miami at this point, because you can't really bring in a veteran option, like kind of Mr. Bossman alluded to earlier in the comment section. Bring Ryan Tannehill, right? You hear a lot of fan bases say, I wouldn't do it. But you hear a lot of the fan base say, "Hey, bring Tannehill, bring Tannehill, bring Tannehill." But you know what? Tannehill wants to be in a starter situation where he's going to start the remainder of the year.
Is that the same fan base that wanted to bench Tannehill for Matt Moore? That fan base?
Exactly.
Probably. I wouldn't be
Exactly. And that's
surprised.
my whole thing is desperation feeds this idea that magically Tannehill had, bro, Tannehill's pocket presence. I'm not going to be mean, but I was going to say something terrible, but I won't. It leaves a lot to be desired in that aspect. And now all of a sudden you think that you're going to bring him into a situation, especially with the bad offensive line, that he's somehow going to change his ways is fucking asinine, in my opinion.
I agree. And what they're going to say, he's going to utilize his legs. Like, we don't remember what he did. We don't remember 2 years of 20 ACLs consecutive. But anyways, I digress.
Oh, no. When he said that he knew better than the doctors because he went to school for exercise science and said that he could rehab it himself without surgery, then end up tearing it and needed fucking surgery anyway.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
But it does prove the point that I've made to a lot of people who have tried to argue with me is the player ultimately has the decision. This is not, the team cannot tell you what you can and can't do. It is your decision. But there are very few times, maybe the, what's his name, Tyrod Taylor, when he got, his freaking lung popped like a fucking balloon by an idiot. You should 99% of the time you should be listening to the doctors and doing what they say, but I digress.
I agree. They are the medical professionals, right? That's what they do for a living.
But then, Tannehill wanted to say fuck you, and then he cost the Dolphins another year and another fucking shitstorm, and here we are.
Who do we have as his backup that year?
Matt
Fitz,
Moore.
Right? No, it was Moore.
No, it was Matt Moore.
It was Matt Moore.
And we also had the other guy. What was the other guy? There was another one, too, before Matt Moore, because we signed Matt Moore later in Tannehill's career. Early in Tannehill's career, we had another guy. I can't remember what his name was now.
No, it was Matt Moore when we had Tannehill.
Yeah, I know, but that was later in his career at the tail end.
Beginning. No, Matt Moore, we drafted Tannehill the following year.
Oh, my God.
As our starter.
What was it?
And before him was Chad Henne.
Wait.
Was it Chad Henne before him?
Yeah, it was Chad Henne. Chad Henne is his name. That's who I couldn't remember.
Yeah, but we didn't have Ryan. I'm sorry, when we had Chad Henne. We had Chad Henne. Then we brought in Matt Moore, and then we drafted Ryan.
There was
Tannehill.
another guy. The first time Tannehill got injured, we had another backup, but then something happened with him. I can't remember what happened with him, and that's why we ended up
knocked him out.
Pat White, yeah, wasn't it Pat White? Yeah, when he got knocked the fuck out.
I think that was with.
No one heard me when I said his name.
No, that wasn't Pennington. That was after Pennington.
That was way after Pennington, but
yeah. That's when Pat White died on the field.
Yeah. I mean, fuck, everybody acting like Tua's playing a Pat White out there.
What year was he drafted? Was it 2017?
Nah, Tannehill was with us for 7 years.
What year did he get drafted?
When did we draft Tua? 19, right? 19.
2020. No, 2020.
It was 2020? Okay, yeah. So that means the 1920 is the last year we had Tua. So he was drafted in 2012, 2013 draft.
Brock Osweiler. That's who.
Yeah, it was Brock Osweiler. There you go. I couldn't remember his fucking name.
Dude, there's so many fucking quarterbacks, bro. It's so
I
fucking
know.
bad that we gotta
And
go
then when
through
you
this
talk
shit.
about Josh Rosen and fucking Tua and the
Oh,
first
Josh
year too.
Rosen. Oh, that was another one.
Frozen. He had a
Oh,
fluke.
dude, there's so many fucking bad quarterbacks, dude.
Exactly. And the
So
fact
many bad
is
quarterbacks.
we felt like, again, at the end of the day, Miami, all across the board, even with the Tua selection, you know, it all comes down to you have to have a solid backup. And unfortunately, Miami is overpaid and overpaid and overpaid for shit fucking backup quarterback after shit backup The only fucking one that was worth the damn was Matt Moore, but even Matt Moore had his shortcomings and
Matt
they were
Moore.
exposed.
I would
Matt
say
Moore
Fitz too. Fitz was a decent one.
was
Fitz
the
was a decent
greatest
backup.
No,
backup
Fitz was the
quarterback.
starter, bro. Stop it. Fitz was the starter. Don't start that fucking argument.
Yo,
Don't start that,
Matt.
Philly.
We had Matt Moore. When we had Matt Moore, you knew if our quarterback went down, Matt Moore would come onto that field, light him up, play the next game, light him up, but then that's it. Get the starter back in because now he's done.
Yeah, I think that, and I think that another part of that Matt Moore thing that a lot of people don't talk about enough is just like every other fucking quarterback on this team. How many times did he come into that situation with a quarterback being injured, but also a large majority of us offensive line being backups as well? And this is something that, again, this has been nearly a fucking 2-decade-long problem as far as the offensive line. I mean, you're going back to Richie Incognito fucking days when, beyond the unicorn line, that we've had a good offensive line and a healthy offensive line. And there were times where Matt Moore was lighting it up when he had the large majority of his starting offensive linemen in. When he started losing O linemen, things got pretty fucking bad pretty quick.
My thing with him was once there's tape on him, he was gone.
That's true too, I think. But again, how much of that is the tape and how much of that is the lack of ability? Mr. Cokehead over there, Adam Gase and fucking Chris Forrester doing lines before games is the inability to make adjustments game to game and in game for that matter. So that's another issue to be had as well. Damn, I can't believe he didn't even pull up the Adam Gase picture. Him and
Crazy.
fucking Forrester doing, there you go,
There
doing
it is.
lines of coke before the fucking game. Hey, a shout out to Chris Forrester, though. Apparently he got his ass clean and he's doing pretty fucking good elsewhere. So, I mean, congrats to him. But you fucked us.
Oops.
Yeah, he cost us some stuff there, buddy.
I mean,
man.
you go from Bullygate to the fucking Snortgate to fucking everything else. I mean, goddamn, it was just the fucking misery. Then we go to John Pierre Luis, who sucked dick, and then all these other shitty fucking offensive line coaches. And I mean, I'm not terribly against Butch Berry, but again, it comes down to the argument that you made, Big Philly. When do we start holding Chris Greer responsible? And unfortunately, I've been calling this shit for years. And
I think you were calling it for years. Nene was calling it for years. But what did she call him? Chris Aloysius Greer the Third is what she calls it.
Aloysius.
Aloysius.
All the wishes of picking up fucking street guys. And again, my bad. I'm not trying to take over. I said the street names though. Robert Jones, man, he came in off the street playing well fucking 2 years ago, but since then the guy is fucking trash. I'm sorry.
Hey, what is it Poseidon always says? By the way, if you guys don't know, Poseidon is one of our OG, also another OG co-host. Poseidon always says, bro, they'll have better luck going to Golden Corral and picking up a dude at the Golden Corral buffet line. And
Exactly.
the guys on the roster right now.
And drafting people because Greer fucking sucks at that.
But you know what? It's not even that, bro. It's that they keep doing. I don't know what it is, bro. But Chris Greer likes project pieces. The same with Patrick Paul, right? Patrick Paul, which
bargain shopping,
had a great preseason. I will add, had a great preseason, and I do. That is somebody who I do expect to start sooner rather than later, especially with the injury now to Teron Armstead. And the way Kendall Lamb came in and covered, I think I would probably put in Patrick Paul over Kendall Lamb coming into this week. But that's just my opinion, because I don't think Lamb played very well in that Buffalo game. But what I will say is, Patrick Paul is a project piece. It's a piece it's a developmental piece. Liam Eichenberg, developmental piece.
Stop that. That is absolute horse shit. Eichenberg was fucking shit when he came. He was shit at tackle. He was shit at guard. We tried him at center. He was shit there.
Regardless of what you feel, CT, about Liam Eichenberg, Mr.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
Listen, he was a project piece when he was drafted. Okay? The reason Miami drafted him was for his athletic upside. That is why they drafted him. It didn't turn out, obviously you see here in the run game and his pass grade, and I get it, you guys don't like PFF. I understand that, but it is a user-friendly site to use for these types of podcasts. But again, his run block grade 75 in the first two games. I'm sorry, 83. I apologize. So the athleticism is what assists him in getting to the second level. And I can show you, we can go watch that on 22, where he was getting pushing into the second level and making impact blocks, lead blocks.
Yeah, in the run game. But the problem is again, tackle, guard, center, tackle, guard, center, guard, tackle, or center, guard. He sucks at fucking pass blocking. And again, the failure comes on Chris Greer when, okay, I'm not opposed to you trying to find bargain bin shopping type deals. Fuck, I do it myself. But at the same time, when you realize that it's not working, you have to move the fuck on.
Yeah. It's like it's riding a dead horse until you can't ride it anymore.
And I agree with you with Patrick Paul. At this point, look, and we talked about this, Kendall Lamb, Robert Jones, and the other guy that he played. It wasn't Jesse Davis. It was the other Davis that we picked up off the street. And in that year, we had those major offensive line injuries. They came off the street and played better than fucking starters. But then when they're in the system for a while, apparently they go back to playing like shit. And it's inconceivable that if you're going to check out these guys, you're going to bring these guys in for a shot. That's great. It's the same thing with Patrick Paul. Put him in the fire. And Seattle again, I mean, they don't have a stacked D line and all of that. Give the guy experience.
Anna, Seattle, because I have Seattle's D line pulled up. If you don't mind, Anna, please, thank you.
But you get what I'm saying is I would rather start him now, get him more experience, and if he shits the bed, then you got Kendall Lamb. But by holding him as the number 3 guy and letting us continue down this road of shitty offensive line play, I'd rather fucking see if the guy has it or not.
So this is their offensive line. Can you scroll down to the defense, if you don't mind?
Hey, pull up the Seahawks injury report. You see our boy Jerome Baker on that thing.
We need to worry about Kenneth Walker. That's what we need to fucking worry about.
He's on the injury report too.
I know he is, but will he play?
Hey, the greatest part about playing fucking Baker is all you got to do is get Achane or somebody out there on the edge, and fucking run by him in a passing situation because he can make played or sideline to sideline run defense when he's not running up the middle. He can make things on the outside, but pass defense, he's fucking shit past 5 yards. So if we can find an out route or an in route 5 yards down the field, Baker's fucking toast.
Well, right now, so Anna, our producer, she has up right now the offensive passing grades for Seattle. Similar situation with that, that Seattle's in. Obviously they have a great tackle there in Charles Cross. And you can see that they're obviously in their passing grades and 81 and 90 passing and run blocking grade. But then it kind of trickles down into those mid sevens, and sixes, fives, and even some fours and twos there. With their starting offensive line. So our defensive line, kind of talking about what Jaelan Phillips. We'll talk a little about Jaelan Phillips right now, right? Jaelan Phillips came out, a little controversy. Was talking about his mental health, which I respect, right? Because everybody goes through it, right? And I get it. He felt compelled to go out and talk about his mental health and how it has affected his game and what he thinks, and kind of like how he triumphed over it. I feel like, in my personal opinion, I feel there's a time and place. I don't think the time and place was now to post what he posted. I think, though, that if obviously he's a grown ass man and he's going to say whatever the fuck he wants to say and whenever he wants to say it. But talking about some of the triumphs that he's went through and how he felt his play was on Thursday night. This offensive line that he's going to play against, minus the Charles Cross, obviously, and Font, because even Font, George Font is kind of one of those pieces that he's a hit or miss depending on the game. I think that if Jaelan Phillips may have he's getting set up here for a very nice comeback game here against Seattle. Is going to add some pressure onto Geno Smith, but I just want y'all to know, like, hey, Geno Smith's not somebody that's going to sit in the pocket. He's somebody that can use his legs and can make you pay for it. So we definitely got to play a lot of good contain. Our linebackers need to be on point. But when it comes to Jaelan Phillips and his, I think it's and it's not our place as fans. I think sometimes as fans we get a little too emotional, and we take things like a little too hard. Even like with Tyreek Hill what he posted earlier this week, where it's like, hey, if you feel that you can do what we do and you can play the game or you can coast, why don't you do it then? Even in the same goes to them. Why are you entertaining us as fans? I get it. We pay your bills. We pay your with buying jerseys, buying merchandise, buying tickets and things of that nature. I don't buy jerseys anymore. I buy my own jersey. Yeah, fuck that. I'm cursed. I can't buy jerseys no more. I'm fucking cursed. But dude, that shit. Yeah, I remember when Tua got drafted, Mike, you were like, "Don't you dare buy a Tua jersey." And no, I'm sorry. That was Tannehill. And remember, I went and I returned the Tannehill jersey and purchased an even worse jersey in Deion Jordan.
I would never forget the Deion Jordan jersey.
Oh my God, bro. That was
the one that played fucking no games for us because he couldn't stop smoking weed. Fuck, we thought Ricky Williams' weed shit was fucking bad until we drafted a guy number 2 overall and he couldn't fucking stop smoking weed.
No, it was
like,
PEDs.
bro.
It was PEDs. Wasn't it PEDs?
No, Deion Jordan was fucking marijuana.
Oh yeah, it was. It was marijuana at first, and
the thing is though, and they talked about it, and Pat McAfee and I'm shout out to them, and he was telling me, or he was telling everybody on his show that people act like this is some fucking crazy testing situation. No, he said, look, there is a 4-week period in the off season that you're going to get fucking tested. 4 weeks. So again, all you have to do is not smoke weed for fucking 8 weeks before that fucking thing. So essentially, it's literally 2 to 2.5 months that you have to stop smoking weed. You know exactly when they're going to test you. You know exactly what they're going to do. And you go, nah, fuck it. I don't give a shit. Bro, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was a crazy time.
There's a 2-week period in training camp where
what's
they
crazy?
test
Now that I'm
every
thinking about
single fucking person. So
But
you
hold
know.
on. Real quick. Now that I'm thinking about it, didn't we have that coke snorting offensive lineman at that time too? When we drafted Dion? I think we did.
No, I think he was right before that. It was before. I think we drafted Deion Jordan before Adam Gase.
That would have been funny. No, I think Adam Gase was him.
No, I think that was
maybe Charles Harris.
Maybe it was Charles Harris. I can't remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The whole point is, look, you got a 2-week fucking situation where they're testing. At a minimum, you got to do it 30. Stop smoking 30 days before. If you're a heavy user, it'll probably take 45 days. But even if it's 2 fucking months, 2.5 months of you not smoking weed, to have a $1 million contract, you're the number 2 overall pick. You got to stop smoking weed for 2.5 months. What the fuck, dude?
Dude, that was 2013. It was when he was drafted.
Yeah, which was before Adam Gase.
No, yeah, it was Joe Philbin.
Yep, Joe Philbin. There you go.
Joe Philbin. We still had Charles Clay, Lamar Jackson, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, Raphael. What's going on, Raphael?
Ryan Tannehill, Brian Hartline, Mike Wallace. Mike Wallace, that was another one. Oh my God!
Lawrence Timmons.
No,
Lawrence Timmons that fucking went AWOL the day before the fucking game.
Dude, there's so many bad GM moves. Anyways, I digress. There's just so many bad fucking deals.
We're going down the fucking rabbit hole of bad shit. Let's try to get on some good shit.
Oh, dude, it's just so bad as I'm looking at this shit. Oh, dude, I'm stressing out. Anyways, so yeah, man, like as fans, we just need to chill out, bro. If the dude feels like he needs to talk about his mental health, let the man talk about his mental health. I mean, you had Brandon Marshall come out and kind of, with his show, I Am Athlete, kind of come out there and talk about mental health and mental health awareness. But, if Jaelan
even though our boy Omar says that dude's fucking psycho too, so.
Well, man, a lot of them. I mean, if you to play this game, you got to be a little crazy. But, I think what was it? Antonio Brown was another one. He's like, Channing Crowder came out, and called him out, and he goes, "Why would you do that during the game when he left the game?" And he's like, "What are you, crazy?" And he goes, "Yeah, I am crazy." And so it's just one of those things. But with Jaelan, I just think there's a time and place for it, and this just wasn't the time or the place. But I think it makes him soft. No, I don't think it makes him soft. I just think that he put himself in a vulnerable position. But at the same time, there is a time and place, and that wasn't the time or the place to air out his struggles and what he's going through mentally. I think that's
maybe, but I do think from an athlete standpoint, especially coming off an injury, maybe that's his way of kind of trying to lift the pressure off his shoulders. The fact that he wasn't supposed to come back for the beginning of the season. That was not anticipated.
Mike, you're on camera. I don't know who's that there. Was that? Yeah.
Hey. But you get what I'm saying? Like, injury-wise, I think that he pushed himself to the edge to get back for the beginning of the season. But like we talked about in the Cam Wake situation, which was, again, an Achilles as well, that it takes a lot of time. Even if you get back to playing football, you're not going to be in football shape. You're not going to be ready to go.
You're not going to be where you were prior to the injury. Right
Exactly.
Away. Time to build yourself up. I think Jay Miami, kind of from another one of those guys that are always on the Twitter Spaces. He alluded to this, when we were talking about during the offseason, when Jaelan came back from practice, or even when they were showing the videos of him doing those quick speed drills. You can see how significant the injury was, obviously, to his calf.
Yeah, labored and whatnot.
It was massive. And then the other one was like a toothpick. And, obviously he has to build that muscle back up and build up the strength in that leg. And that takes time. It takes reps. It takes a lot of lifting, workouts, which, we see him doing on a consistent basis. And, where he is now to where he was, we didn't think he was going to be available so quick in the season, especially week one. We thought we were going to get him maybe October, November. So,
and that's where
he is and how how is obviously how he takes care of himself. But he had struggles too, and even in college. He retired. He had a lot of injuries. He had if I'm not mistaken, concussion issues. And he retired from UCLA, came back, played for Canes. So, obviously you see he's been battling. So I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna sit here and fault the dude because, he aired out how he feels, going through what he went through in his history, and how that, affects his play on a consistent basis. So
and I agree. But medically speaking, I'm just saying, like you brought up, you've got to rebuild muscle. You have all of these things where those are off season. The off season is when you can build muscle, you can change body type, you can do those things. In season, because of the amount of abuse that you're taking, you're working out to maintain your stature, not to try to improve it. And so that's where I feel like, given what's going on with Jaelan Phillips, is you got as good as you could before the season started, but you're not going to make further strength improvements or anything on that, because now that the season has started, it's about maintaining that physique, maintaining those physical aspects. I think that next year you'll probably see a much better Jaelan Phillips, but that doesn't mean that the emotional struggle, whatever that may be for him, you can get over that. But physically speaking, there still is a limitation. You came back very quickly from an Achilles, and I made the argument. Everybody goes, oh, yeah, but Rodgers was ready to come back last year. Yeah, being a fucking quarterback with an Achilles injury is much different than a D-end with an Achilles injury. Those are not the same fucking things.
They're not at all. Obviously, just the way they utilize their legs and how they come off the line and things of that nature just goes to show you. Rodgers is,
exactly.
Look at he's planting, he's pushing through, but it's not the same. Damn, another OG, Mr. Poseidon. What's going on, big boss?
Poseidon in the building. What's going on, brother? Long time no see.
Yeah, man. They sent me the invite late, man. You know how it is.
Yes, shots fired, baby. Shots fired.
I said
that. What's going on, fellas? What's going on, man?
Poseidon runs on Cuban time because we're Cuban. So I said 9 o'clock. It really means 10:24. But
it's past my bedtime. To be honest with you,
it's getting there too for me. So it's all right. So hey, man, we talked about a lot this show, but we're kind of talking about Jaelan Phillips and what he aired out today on X, or I'm not sure if it was an IG post, and some of his mental struggles and how it affected his game, but how he was able to persevere and push through. So we were just kind of talking about that, and I was like, it's more like it's a time and place. And I don't think this was really the time or the place. Is something that you kind of say in the off season, not during the season. But some of the reaction he got was like he was soft, or making up excuses, or some of the fan base was saying. Other people
Tua
were saying
needs to slide. He needs to slide. He's not a linebacker.
obviously Poseidon wants to talk about Tua. So we talked about Tua earlier on the show. So I guess let me get your perspective on the state of the union, right? Is what I call it, the state of the franchise when it comes to Tua. Obviously, CT gave a really good. If you have a chance, Poseidon, go back watch the show in the
Yeah,
beginning.
go back and watch it
CT
because there's a
CT
lot of
gave a good explanation.
misinformation out there.
Right. CT gave a great explanation on concussions and how they work and how they're labeled and all these good things. The term of fencing and posturing. So if you have a chance, just go back and watch the show and listen to that part of the show. But what is your
But
take?
Tua's not going to retire.
No, Tua's not going to retire.
Tua's coming back. He just needs to learn how to slide. There's really no evidence of concussions being linked to CTE, really.
Well,
you get concussions in boxing all the time. UFC, they get concussions all the time. All the time.
I'll let you know. Just go back and rewatch. That's not completely accurate, but long story short, go back and rewatch. It's not about the amount of concussions overall. It's the frequency and the duration and the time period that is medically speaking. The journals say that yes, over time, the amount of concussions aren't necessarily relevant. It's the amount in a short time period that then becomes an issue.
Got it.
I think too, CTE is more linked towards brain trauma. Obviously, concussions do cause brain trauma. So I don't know how accurate that is too, where it's not linked because there's still not enough science behind the CTE and how they want obviously they have to wait post-mortem to even study the effects on CTE to the brain and things of that nature. So there's still not enough.
Yeah,
information
exactly. But as far as the information is concerned now, CTE does actually lead into the number of concussions, but it's the threshold of how much overall brain disease.
Anna, you could take down the share screen. I'm sorry, CT. I apologize.
No, you're fine. It's the medical evidence suggests that it's not just the number, it's the frequency and the healing in between, but also with CTE. CTE has nothing to do with return to play. That's a whole nother discussion. And I'm not going to get into that because, like Big Philly said, there's very limited research. From my understanding, there's about 480 participants in the CTE original study done by Harvard and in conjunction with other universities. And I'm not going to, not name them or whatever, but there's a lot of involved in that. But CTE is completely different from return to play as far as Tua. And that's something that I discussed with Big Philly privately is that's something that Tua, the experts and all of that have to discuss. But I feel, again, like I stated earlier in the show, to be short, is he reset the time clock. He hasn't had a concussion in 18 months. Now, if he wants to worry about CTE or possible long-term decision he has to make with his physicians, his personal physicians, team doctors, and all of that. But that's CTE, that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah,
and Phil, this is not a laughing matter.
Yo, fuck you. Yo, CT, look at your name, dog, because we're fucking assholes.
Go for it. I'm not a doctor. I have a master's degree in exercise physiology.
Yes, please.
Formerly
Formerly
a lead physiologist. Now I'm actually the managing director of my department in exercise physiology at my hospital. So I'm no longer practicing. but
Yes, look at that.
Nice.
I am in management. But I see it very differently. I've been a staunch, defender of Tua, but at the same time, like I said, we teach Pee Wee football players keep your head up and keep your eyes open, and that is very important. I'll make it quick on this: is your vestibular, your ability to gauge where you are in space, is based on your vision as well as your hearing. And when you close your eyes and you lower your head, you get impacted. Your head gets thrown off to the side in a very fucking aggressive manner. It does stretch the
Violent.
spinal
I think
cord.
violent.
It stretches the neurons in the brain. But again, I don't think that the original impact was the most devastating part. It was like Big Philly said at the very beginning, and we talked privately. It was the secondary impact of the back of his head slamming against the turf that created the posturing response that is more concerning to me.
I agree. That's where we saw that again in Cincinnati when he got thrown down. We kind of saw that too in the Buffalo game at the beginning of the year 2022. We saw the back spasms. They labeled it a back injury. I still think it's a concussion. I will go to the grave with that shit that was a fucking concussion.
And I agree with you. I do want to say though, in defense of the doctors, there is possibility back spasms, and for those individuals who have had them, there are times where a back spasm can take your breath away and make you fall to your knees. And so again, I don't necessarily think that you can say that it's not a possibility. Do I think that that was the actual nature of the cause or the mechanism of injury? Absolutely not. But I can understand why he finagled his way back into fucking playing, because medically speaking, yes, that is a possibility. That doesn't mean that he wasn't hiding symptoms, lying about symptoms. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
Which is why the guy that I stood up for and I commented multiple times, the doctor, they followed protocol. There was no violation of concussion protocol. The NFL wanted to backtrack and go, oh, well, let's change concussion protocol. But they did not violate protocol. It was one of those gray areas where, fuck, we got to be better at this gray area. That's really what happened in that sense.
They're using him like a dummy.
Well, I think they used it as a scapegoat, really, that doctor. But it's just
they wanted to scapegoat him because they didn't want to admit liability of the fact that, as far as medically speaking, there were gray areas in your protocol, and they tried to use him as a scapegoat. But
so let me ask this question. I'm going to start with Poseidon because he's obviously on here relatively late, but I want to get his thoughts on it. So, do you think it was premature of Chris Greer to give Tua that extension, or do you think that they should have waited and played him on his 5th-year option, knowing that what we know now?
The thing is that most of the players are paid from what they did the year before. Normally, that's how the NFL has been working, or what they did prior to the contract.
Right. So if you look at what he did prior to him earning his contract, right? He had in 2022, he was on pace to probably being the leading pass, leading pass leader in yardage before he got hurt. In 2023, he obviously led the league in passing, right? But in 2020 and 2021, He was off and on in 2022. He was off and on with injuries, different injuries. I get it, but still injuries. So he only had one consistent year. So do you think a year and a half of what you saw out of Tua is enough to grant him that $200 million contract?
How much have you seen out of Jordan Love? And he got a contract.
And
How much did you see out? What have you seen out of Trevor Lawrence that got him his contract?
Well, Trevor Lawrence had a playoff win.
Yeah, where he threw fucking 3 interceptions and they magic. Come on, Big Phil. You knew I was going to say that. Stop that.
He had a playoff win.
Win was a fucking miracle. Stop it.
And he won his team the division.
Yeah,
something that
win again.
Tua hasn't done either.
Okay. I'll let you speak because I've been talking too much anyway. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, Tua hasn't. Look, do I think he's our long-term solution? I think he is. I think he can be. Right? I'm not going to sit here and say, "Yo, he's not the franchise guy."
He has to stay healthy.
No, but what I will say is, do I think? Because again, he wasn't holding out. I didn't see that. I didn't see anything publicly that he was going to hold out. So if he's not going to hold out, he sat parts of training camp, but I don't think he was going to hold out the season. You get what I'm saying? That's his final year of his contract. He's not going to hold out, and he had a lot to prove. So I think, if I know that he's not going to hold out the season and he's going to play, and knowing the concerns that we had with injuries and being available, right? I think that I might have held out and probably let him play on his 5th-year option.
Why did listen, Linda? How did Daniel Jones get his money?
Daniel Jones shouldn't have gotten paid. Bro, that's the biggest scam.
So why doesn't Tua deserve his money? All right. We don't know the full details of the contract. Because now $50 million has appeared, that they have an insurance. We don't know the details.
They have $49 million.
Let's not jump the gun.
Well, that is not true. So, from my understanding, and I know that report came out about the Jets not having insurance on Brett Favre when he had the Achilles. But that was not discussed in the Tua situation. However, it doesn't matter. If Tua does end up medically retiring, then yes, the Dolphins will get back the guaranteed money for the future years. However, irregardless of that, I agree with Poseidon in saying Daniel Jones got money for not doing shit. It was inevitability. We talked about this. It was an inevitability. Knowing that Tua was the best option they had, he did fucking stay healthy for an entire year, led them to the playoffs. Granted, they fucking lost to the Bills and then lost to Kansas City to end the year, but there was no better option.
And football is pay to play, especially quarterback.
Yeah. They rate a lot of these quarterbacks off what they did the year before. There's where, if this guy did this, well, we're going to do that. Tyreek got what? He almost, 1,700 yards last season?
1894.
And what did they do? They gave him an extension.
Yep. And the problem was, though, and I feel, and I agree with you, that the issue is again, Tua stayed healthy, which wasn't necessarily a concern had he not fucking dropped his head and closed his eyes. But that's beside the point. The issue is when do you say, as a organization, we had shitty backups, we've had terrible starting quarterbacks, you tank for Tua, you get Tua, you do all the fucked up shit you did, you tried to make it work. Mike McDaniel comes in. He comes in and has 2 great years under Mike McDaniel. All you're doing is you're paying for the hope of the future. Okay, we saw him take a step. Is he going to take another step? That was the hope. But here we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, Phil, what my answer is, yes, he deserved the money. He deserved it.
I think so.
Hey, I gotta ask you a
I
question.
agree he deserved it. It's now this is the position we're in, but part of that goes down to Greer. The O-line should be better. You should have had backup quarterbacks because whether or not you believed in Tua and the injury history and everything else, you should have still had a reasonable backup plan. And I do not feel like the reasonable backup plan was Mike White, Skylar Thompson. Oh, Mike White's better than Skylar Thompson last year. Mike White's number 2. Now, magically, oh, Mike White sucks. Skylar's number 2. And we're just going to fucking roll with it. And that's my problem.
When I saw the preseason and I missed the game, I was like, oh, let me see how it went. I saw Skylar Thompson. I'm like, why do we still have this guy? Why?
Yeah, I know. Mike.
I agree. I agree.
Aren't big fans of Skylar Thompson, but he is our starting quarterback. Hey, he's our starting quarterback, sir. He's number 1.
And let's go, Skylar, baby. Let's go.
Look,
Stop throwing pick sixes. Let's start throwing TDs like that Denver Broncos game when you threw that fucking bomb to what was it, Robbie Chosen, even though he's no longer on the team because he sucked dick last week. But let's go, Skylar. Get us fucking 2 wins out of 4. Let's go.
EZE, right? They brought back EZE, which obviously had a nice preseason, built up a nice camp. He had some drops there too in camp, for the ones that the at least the training camps that I was able to attend. But that's another somebody, a familiar face that obviously Skylar has a lot of familiarity with. Obviously I think this week's gonna be a little bit different. I think we're gonna see a little bit of a different play out of this offense.
Quick question though, wouldn't that apply to Robbie Chosen and you keeping Robbie Chosen, seeing as Skylar Thompson spent a lot of time on the second team throwing to fucking Robbie Chosen?
True. That would be true. You got 2. They were both on. But I think that EZE has more years with Skylar, because I think him and Skylar came in the same draft class, if I'm not mistaken. So there's obviously familiarity there, and they got to give Skylar the tools to succeed. And I think that Rex Ryan, like I mentioned earlier, Rex Ryan put it best on Get Up and ESPN, where it was the situation with Bryce Young and him getting benched, and it's like, Carolina brings in this quarterback guru, but yet they're so dysfunctional as an organization that they don't help their young quarterback. In this case, the young quarterback from Miami is going to be Skylar, because obviously Tua is a veteran, an experienced veteran at that. But they need to focus on running the ball, getting that run game going, which is going to open up play action. Kind of go back to that aspect where you're controlling the trenches and controlling the line of scrimmage, and putting them in good opportunities in second and third and shorts rather than third and second and longs, where he's going to create more mistakes. To Mr. CT's point, where you're going to get more pick sixes. This is what you kind of want. You want to be in that 3rd and 4, 3rd and 2, 2nd and 2, 2nd and 1. We don't want to be going on 4th down and 4th and 10, 4th and 8, or 3rd and 8, or 3rd and 10, or 3rd and long.
Now, one thing, real quick, my bad, Big Philly.
No, you're good.
One thing that I would love to see is what he was successful at in 2002 when he came in, not only in the last 2 games, including the playoff game, run them on rollouts. And if you can have a chain going the opposite direction, the fact that he has the arm strength to make that opposite field side throw, we've seen the A chain. We've seen the A chain on the out routes or on the wheel routes.
Something that they ran last year that I didn't see. We haven't seen this offseason yet. We actually haven't seen it since the Denver game, where they motioned Tyreek. They motioned Tyreek behind the quarterback, going full speed, sprinting, and they call hike right as Tyreek passes and kind of uses it like a slingshot. So he's coming off the line of scrimmage at full speed rather than getting pressed at the line of scrimmage, which got him open a lot of times. In that game, and utilize that motion. I don't know the exact motion or terminology of what they call it, and I do apologize. But utilizing that style of play, which you kind of see in arena football too a lot, but utilizing that to get Tyreek going, and then you can still roll out to the opposite side with Skyler and utilize his big arm to throw across the field there if you want. To your point,
Yeah, and then the fact that again it adds a dimension because now it's no longer the short passes on the left side of the field because again, Tua is left-handed, right?
You got to switch to the right.
So now you have that change where you can catch people off guard, but at the same time, what happens if you say, okay, you're expecting us to throw underneath on the right side because of him being right-handed dominant, but I could still pull this guy on the left side. He's got enough arm strength to make you pay on the left side. I really like that idea.
Yeah, I look, I'm not going to sit here like some of Mike and Poseidon that have given up faith in Skyler. And do I think he's going to be? Do I think he's going to be our starter? Or take over to his job? Hell no. But I think that again.
Well, if he retires, he's going to take over it.
He's going to take over. Maybe not.
Jordan Love might retire. Jordan Love might retire if he keeps getting fucking injured too. Fucking pussy bitch. So
Jordan Love?
Yeah. Jordan Love got an ankle injury and this injury and that. How many times he's been injured now? Fuck, he's looking like Tua getting injured all the fucking time.
Who's this concussion now?
I don't know, bro, but listen.
Packers suck. That's all I got to say.
I'm going to get some final thoughts here because we've been on for about an hour and 43 minutes here. And I'm ready. It's past my bedtime. I can tell you that much. I know Poseidon mentioned it a little bit earlier.
Hey, fucking Dale, fucking old as shit, bro.
Yeah, we're getting old, bro. I gotta sleep. Yeah, I deal with money all day, so I need to sleep. But so I'll get some final thoughts for this game against Seattle. I'll start with Mike, and we'll go to CT and Poseidon. What are your final thoughts on the State of the Union for Miami and this game against Seattle this weekend at 4:00 on Sunday?
Well, after the first quarter, they're going to pull Skylar Thompson for throwing 2 interceptions, one of them being a pick 6. Shout out CT.
You're a fucking asshole. What's your score
trouble,
prediction? What's your score prediction?
The defense.
You already got bare minimum 7 for Seattle because you put Seattle into a pick 6 because.
Hey, if you steal my goddamn score prediction, I'm gonna smack you through the phone.
Skylar Thompson averages one touchdown throw, so he'll have 1 touchdown, another rushing. He's a 3-and-out machine. We're gonna lose.
Okay.
Probably 14 us and like 24 them.
So what? 24-14 Seattle.
Unless they bench Skylar Thompson.
24-14 Seattle. No faith in Skylar Thompson. I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I'm kind of similar, but I do got the Dolphins scraping out a win for our boy. I see it 2017, one pick six for Skylar Thompson. And it's going to be 2017 with Sanders hitting that last minute field goal.
See, what makes me the most nervous is that I know Skylar Thompson's a 3-and-out machine, so our defense is going to be on the field a lot.
Yeah.
Fuck both of y'all. Fuck both of y'all. Call me a homer, but I got Miami 34-27.
Wow, damn.
And Skylar throws for 250.
Where's the awesome woman in the back with that Adam Gase picture? That's you high as fuck, bro. Cause that ain't happened.
I can do that myself, bro. I can do that myself. You gotta have both things.
I just snorted, and the fact that I just snorted while laughing is fucking sad.
The only way this man gets 250 throw-in is if he gets 2 slant passes to Tyreek Hill and he takes it to the house.
Exactly.
That is the only way.
That's all
I will say, no, I don't agree with that. I think the only way he gets that is he throws the pick six, and then they fake the same slant throw or out throw, and they do a double move for a touchdown the same way he did against Denver, where he got intercepted, but then he threw the same throw to Robbie Chosen for the touchdown. The only way he's throwing a touchdown is if he sets up the touchdown by the pick six. That's the only way it's happening for me.
He's going to throw 250, 2 tutties passing. 2 tutties passing. Devon A. Chan going to get a tutty.
All right. I got it. So, Steve, I got a question for you. Does Sky throw more picks or touchdowns?
Oh, God.
Not pick six, regular picks.
I'm going to say it's equal. He's going to throw 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
Well, I hope you fuckers are both wrong. As a matter of fact, I hope y'all go on Hard Rock Bets, and I hope y'all bet INTs on Skylar Thompson, and I hope that's the only fucking leg you don't hit.
Yeah, the only one we're going to get is him throwing an interception because he sucks dick.
No, fuck you. You're not going to get it, and you're going to lose the whole fucking parlay because of that one fucking leg.
Oh, like you, right? We're not going to talk about you and your one miss parlay.
Yo, I had 4 that I missed last week.
I know. Exactly, because you fucking pick some stupid shit. If you think that Skylar is going to throw more touchdowns than interceptions, you are fucking retarded. Oh, sorry. We can't say retarded anymore. Cajun is the new word. So you're Cajun, bro. You're Cajun if you think that he's going to throw more touchdowns than interceptions.
Greedy. Damn, where you pull that from?
There you go. That's a good one. That's a good one because that looks like when Skylar's our quarterback, that looks like all y'all walking out the stadium right there. Crying like a bitch. Crying like a bitch.
Hold on. I see what you put for number 2. Do not put that on here.
Do it. Do it.
Don't put that on there. Do not put that on there. You can put the other one.
There you go. Missing the mark, baby. Missing the mark. That's Cajun right there. That's Cajun right there.
The other one that was we might have gotten canceled for that. So don't do that. Okay?
Yeah, they are out. I mean,
listen.
When you got Skylar fucking playing, bro. You got 1 pick six.
You hear Austin Jackson. We'll see how he plays. Besides Sexton,
Oh,
somebody.
Austin Jackson, the one that sucked worse than everybody else in pass protection. Fuck,
Nobody
that's
said
according to PFF, who sucks at fucking
Hey,
grading. But
that's
that's okay too. They all fucking suck. Why not?
Jackson got diddied, boy, in that fucking game.
Bro, he can run out. He can run out in the run game and the screen game, and he can make some blocks because of his size. But pass protection, bro, he's just as fucking bad as Eichenberg at fucking tackle from 4 years ago.
All right, so listen, for the sake of time, because I know we got out of here.
This is the milk carton one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get the milk carton one.
No, but
where are they missing, baby?
Well, you could put the milk carton for Batman because nobody's.
I mean, it's Batman, Eichenberg. You could put up Austin Jackson. You could put up all these fucking guys on a milk carton, bro. Stop it. Teron Armstead, Robert Jones.
You know what? We should get the milk carton and just put the whole offensive line on that bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
just put all the motherfuckers on that bitch.
Where's the bad one?
And add Tyreek to it too, because Tyreek was missing on Thursday night.
Oh yeah, he was. He sucked dick, and so did fucking Waddle.
So, anyways, yeah. So I'm gonna call it a night here, guys. I do appreciate it. I wrote down your. That's
it. Let's go.
So you're
he said, it's pack mentality with the Dolphins. If one sucks, we all suck. That's how the fucking Dolphins work, baby.
It's fucking
the Cowboys in the AFC.
It's pod mentality,
the
baby.
Cowboys at least win games. Okay, we're not even winning games right now.
Cowboys make the playoffs and lose.
I mean, I think that's a bit premature. I think that's a little bit premature. We're 1-1. Once Skyler starts and we start losing games, then you can say we fucking suck dick. Then you can say that.
You know what's gonna suck? We gotta get compared to the Patriots.
Bro, I swear to God, if we get our ass whooped by the Patriots and the fucking Seahawks, I am fucking Huntley is going to be the starting QB until Tua is ready, and that's all I'm gonna say. There you go.
That's fucking hilarious.
We can stomp that. We can stomp that dick, but it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen as long as Skyler's playing. I can tell you that. Skyler is one of those submissive men who likes to be dominatrixed by a girl and, with the rubber band.
Whoa. Sir. Save that for Miami Dolphins content, okay?
There you go. Now defunct Miami Dolphins content.
Whatever that shit called, this show's called with Bleezy. I forget what it's called right now. But anyways, listen, why are you putting the Cash App? We're not doing that right now.
Hey, Cash App to fucking Michael and his mental health because he had to endure this fucking show. Let's go.
Wow, CT. Considering that you were the one that was talking majority of the time. Okay.
I know, because that's the only way I can say this goddamn show. When people over here talking about some good shit like, oh, we're going to win a couple games from Skyler, from that guy Big Philly.
If we could win 2 games, that'd be great.
Again, from that guy Big Philly who thought we're going to win a couple games.
Listen, I have blind
I'm
faith.
about to have a breakdown mentally like Jaelan Phillips because you said we're going to win with Skyler.
Yo, you're an ass. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. Anyways, it's called.
Hey, it's fucked up, but it's funny. That's all that matters. Let's go. Miami Fan Talk Network, one of the fucking best. They are in here in the building doing their thing. Michael and Big Philly, co-hosts of this show, they're fucking running it. They're doing it right. like, subscribe, all that bullshit to them. They got it, man. And we got laughs over here too, brother.
Hey, man, thank you, CT, for taking the time to come up. I do appreciate it, as always, brother. You're always a friend to the show. So we do appreciate you and your time. Obviously, Dr. CT, that's going to be your name when you come on our show every time. Dr. fucking CT.
Hey, I will say Dr. CT says that if you think Skylar Thompson's going to win us a game, you're going to need a fucking an anolectomy, and you're going to have to get the dick out of the ass from what more.
CT! I'm trying to convert this eventually to a kid show. Because of you, I'm never going to be able to convert this to a kid show. Thanks.
At least you don't get paid on this.
Anyway.
I'm just speaking facts. Whether you want it or not.
There you go. There you go. Anyways.
Love you, boys. Hey, love you, boys. Thank you for the invite. Great show. For those of y'all watching, we're always here for y'all. We're gonna talk shit. Good information. Michael bringing out the facts on Pro Football Network. Big Philly organizing all of it. Man, this is the show for it. We're all around. We're all for it. Educational, but also for the fucking fun. Let's get it.
We have a lot of fun on this show.
We're on after hours time, anyways.
Yeah. All right, CT. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it, my friend.
See you, bro.
But hey, guys, if you enjoyed the show, I hope you guys did. I hope you guys laughed a little bit with us. We always have a little bit of fun on this show. We do this for fun. But if you haven't yet, please make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Miami Fan Talk Network, right here on. We're not Cash App. Right here on fucking dick. Right here, hit that subscribe or follow.
We do it for free. Here's a Cash App.
Yeah, right. Like people are fucking assholes. We're like, hey guys, we're doing this for free, but here's the Cash App if you're willing to donate. What the fuck? No. Just letting y'all know, we are running a pretty fun giveaway once we reach to 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube side. So if you can, please go on over and subscribe. We are giving away a couple jerseys. We have 3 jerseys here that we're willing to give away here. Nick Needham autographed jersey, Xavier Howard autographed jersey, and a Mark Andrews autographed jersey for the Baltimore Ravens. So if you guys are interested in putting your name in there for a free giveaway, please go ahead and like and subscribe to Miami Fan Talk Network here on YouTube. So if you can, just go ahead and come on over, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification button to notify us when we do go live next week. So we do appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you guys. We got 41 in the room, so I do appreciate you guys. Y'all have a fantastic night. We'll see you. Go Fins, Fins up. We do appreciate you. Deuces.
Gerardo.